There's a moment in life that shakes you to the core when the mask of the narcissist begins to fall. It isn't just disappointment. It isn't just frustration. It's something darker, heavier, something that feels like a storm of malice. You see, when the narcissist realizes they can't control you anymore, it cuts them like a sword. It's not the end for them. It's the beginning of their unraveling. Because once you've broken free from the illusion, once the fog has lifted and your eyes finally see, the game changes. You're not weak anymore. You're strong. You're standing tall with a clarity that terrifies a narcissist. And that's when things grow dangerous. Not because your power is fragile, but because their world is crumbling. For the narcissist, control isn't just power, it's identity. Without control, the very ground beneath them shakes. They never saw you as a soul with freedom, with thought, with choice. They saw you as a mirror, a reflection that existed only to prop up their false self. And when you refuse to play that role, when you stop nodding along, stop reacting, stop bending under their subtle manipulations, that's when the panic sets in. It doesn't take an outburst. It doesn't take a fight. Sometimes the most devastating blow to the narcissist is the quiet strength on your face, the calm in your voice, the absence of belief in their lies. They sense it the way a predator senses prey slipping from its grip. That silence tells them the illusion is broken. And if you can see it, they know others might too. That's what sets retaliation into motion. It starts small. A little jab here, a sideways comment there. Words dressed up with double meanings. They're probing, testing. Can they still rattle you? Can they still hook you with guilt or anger? Can they still twist your story until you doubt yourself again? And if the answer is no, if your spirit stays steady, that's when retaliation escalates. Because what you see as freedom, they see as annihilation. Your clarity feels like betrayal. Your boundaries feel like violence. Your detachment feels like war. In their distorted world, exposure isn't truth. It's destruction. This is the moment that catches so many off guard. You thought walking away was a finish line, but in the mind of the narcissist, it's the spark of the fiercest battle. They've been unmasked. Their influence is slipping. And when cornered, the narcissist becomes unpredictable. Some explode in rage. Others craft sabotage with chilling precision. They'll rewrite the story. They'll paint you as the unstable one, the ungrateful one, the cruel one. They'll gather an audience, weaving lies, wearing the costume of the victim. And all the while, your strength, your calm refusal to play, becomes the very evidence they twist against you. But hear this. At the heart of their fury is a single truth. Your awareness threatens their entire kingdom of lies. It isn't the real world that collapses, but the counterfeit world they built on control, distortion, and borrowed identity. And when that world cracks, they'll do anything to patch it back together. They'll accuse you of the very sins they committed. They'll pour their shame onto your shoulders. They'll reach for your scars and press until you bleed. And in that hour of revelation, you see it for what it is. The narcissist never loved the real you. They only loved the role you played in their play. And now that you've stepped off the stage, you're not a partner, you're a threat. The collapse of control is more than a power shift. It's the death of the narcissist's fragile construction. Because the truth is this, the narcissist doesn't build a self from honesty, reflection, or inner strength. That self is paper thin, stitched together from your reactions, your concessions, your praise. Without control, the whole illusion crumbles. Control isn't a luxury for the narcissist. It's survival. It's the glue holding together a shattered identity they dare not face. When you begin to stand on your own 2 feet, when you draw lines in the sand and refuse to dance to the same old tune, something powerful happens. You're not just creating space. You're striking at the very core of the narcissist's fragile identity. For the narcissist, control isn't a preference, it's existence itself. Their entire ego is stitched together by your compliance. They need you to confirm their greatness, to echo their superiority, to bow to whatever role best secures your attention. And the day you walk off that stage, the script begins to burn in their hands. This isn't a loss they can accept with dignity. The narcissist doesn't have the tools to face rejection with grace. To them, your independence is no ordinary change. It's a crisis. The collapse of control is felt like death itself. Their whole identity begins to crack. That's why the narcissist reacts with such fury when the grip slips. It's not simply about losing influence. It's about staring into the abyss of who they really are without the mask. And that's unbearable. Because once they're no longer steering your emotions, no longer shaping your thoughts or rewriting your reality, they are forced, if only for a moment, to glimpse the truth. And the truth is brutal. The narcissist isn't invincible, isn't irresistible, isn't in control. The narcissist is exposed, vulnerable, stripped of the scaffolding they built from your submission. So many think narcissists are just arrogant, just self-absorbed. But the reality runs deeper. Their pride is a shield, a fortress built on sand to hide the shame and insecurity underneath. And when you stop reflecting back the image they crafted, that shield begins to fracture. Your strength unmasks their weakness. Your clarity unveils their confusion. Your boundaries reveal their chaos. They can't bear it. And so, rather than face themselves, they double down. They push harder. They provoke deeper. They spin the story again and again, desperate to drag you back into orbit. Emotional traps narcissists set to pull you back. There's a pattern to their madness. One moment, they're pouring on affection, promising change, flooding you with attention. The next, they're cutting you down, demeaning you, calling you selfish for daring to grow. They'll switch from victim to hero, from charm to cruelty, all in the same breath. Anything to disorient you, to make you question your footing. Every tactic has one purpose: to pull you back into the hierarchy where they sit on the throne and you kneel beneath it. And when those tactics fail, the spiral begins. Because if the narcissist can't control you, they lose the story they tell themselves about who they are. And without that story, they have nothing. See, your empowerment isn't just threatening, it's destabilizing. You're showing them what they never want to see, that control isn't love, obedience isn't respect, fear isn't admiration. And the narcissist can't process that truth without coming undone. Most have spent a lifetime avoiding that collapse by controlling others. They've never faced the emptiness inside, never healed the wounds, never touched the shame. So when you walk away, you're not just slipping free of manipulation. You're tearing down the final curtain that kept them from facing themselves. That's why the moment they lose control is the most dangerous. They're not just losing you, they're losing the story that gave them identity. They don't know who they are without someone else's emotions to puppeteer. They don't know how to feel important without someone else to belittle. They don't know how to exist when seen for what they truly are. And when that reality closes in, the narcissist pivots. Rarely do they retreat quietly into self-reflection. No, they turn to the smear campaign. It's not random bitterness. It's war by design. Their goal isn't only to punish you. It's to shatter your reputation, isolate you from your allies, and twist the script so they still appear as a misunderstood hero or the poor victim, while you were the mask of the aggressor. What makes the smear campaign so venomous is its subtle beginning. They don't always start with wild accusations. They begin with whispers. I don't know what happened, but something seems off with them. They've been distant lately. I'm worried. Sounds innocent, doesn't it? But those whispers are seeds of mistrust. Seeds planted with care, waiting to grow. Then they water those seeds with half-truths, with twisted memories, with lies dressed as concern. They drag pieces of your past into the light, stripped of context, magnified until they look like flaws carved in stone. They weaponize your confessions, those tender truths you once shared in vulnerability, twisting them into evidence of weakness. Your strength becomes cruelty in their story. Your boundaries are painted as manipulation. How to identify manipulation before it destroys your progress? There's a quiet cruelty in the way the narcissist moves. Slick charm up front, a velvet glove covering a steel trap. That charm fools people, especially those who've never learned the language of emotional exploitation. And because the narcissist is surgical about targets, the campaign rarely hits random folks. The assault is aimed at the people whose words matter most to you. Friends, family, co-workers, neighbors. They know that if they can peel those anchors away, you drift. Isolation is a strategy. Doubt is the weapon. Rip away your support, and your perception of reality starts to wobble. That's the plan. It's not only reputation at stake. It's your very backbone. You watch it happen in slow motion. Someone you trusted gives you a look that's half question, half distance. Voices that used to be warm grow cautious. The narcissist narrative seeps into conversations like a slow poison. And here's the cruelest trick. Your attempt to set the record straight becomes evidence against you. Explain yourself and the narrative gets new fuel. See how defensive they are? They'll say, it's a trap built with your basic human instincts to respond, to clarify, to protect your name, and turn inside out on you. Worse still, the narcissist can weaponize kindness. The performance of wounded vulnerability is staged to stir sympathy. They'll cry in all the right places, reveal selective truths, and hand over just enough authenticity to make the rest believable. Outsiders see tears, a trembling voice, and assume the rest must be misunderstanding. They don't know what happened behind closed doors. They don't see the ledger where the narcissist keeps entries, the secrets, the hurts, the confessions they've saved away like contraband. Those private moments are ammunition, waiting. And when the narcissist has those private papers, your soft spots, your childhood cracks, the things you admitted only when trust was demanded, they'll pull from that archive without mercy. A joke, a casual remark, a careless, I was hurt, becomes a dagger in public. The intent is obvious. Make you feel smaller, make you defensive, make you question your footing. Because if charm and coercion don't work, shredding your inner world will. This operation isn't sloppy. It's strategic. It starts with whispers, innocuous-sounding concerns dropped into ears, then blooms into half-truths, then into stories so altered that your own memory seems suspect. Behind the mask of concern, the narcissist says, I'm trying to help, while building a scaffold of suspicion that others climb. They mix fact and fiction until their version feels plausible. And people tend to believe what sounds plausible, building unstoppable self-worth and resilience. So what do you do when the script flips and the world around you starts to wobble? First, understand the violence of weaponized vulnerability. This is not mere betrayal. It's a desecration of intimacy. Everything you shared in trust can be repurposed against you. That's brutal. But knowing this is also where your power begins. You build armor not by hardening into bitterness, but by growing an inner witness, a place inside that remembers the truth of events and refuses to be rewritten. Grounding practices help. Steady breaths, naming what's real, keeping a record of facts and dates, confiding in one trusted person outside the fire. Quiet routines become a spine. Small rituals of self-respect, showing up for a walk, finishing a project, saying no, stitch you back together. Resilience is made in the small, steady choices, not in grand decorations. Guard your vulnerability. Intimacy is sacred. It's given, not stored like inventory to be used later. Learn to recognize openings that are unsafe. It's okay to be selective. It's okay to hold back when the other person's history shows a pattern of using what's entrusted to them. Protecting your inner life isn't selfish. It's survival. And when smear campaigns begin, don't respond with the same weapons. The reflex to fight fire with fire is understandable, but it's rarely effective. The smarter counter is clarity and consistency. Keep your truth simple and repeat it calmly. Let your life be the evidence. Those who matter will watch patterns over time. They'll see who shows up and who leaks rumor. Don't confuse noise for defeat. Rebuild your circle with intention. Seek allies who are steady and observant. People who will test stories against what they know of you. Confide with caution, but confide still. Connection is the antidote to isolation. Take time for restorative practices that return you to yourself. Writing, prayer, therapy, quiet walks, work that lifts your spirit. These are not indulgences. They're the work of recovery. Finally, hold the truth about the narcissist in one hand and mercy in the other. Not for their sake, but for yours. Seeing the narcissist as wounded doesn't excuse the harm, but it helps you avoid becoming them. You don't have to carry righteous anger forever. Let accountability happen through boundaries, not through becoming the mirror of their cruelty. You were never meant to be the narcissist's mirror. You were meant to live with dignity, to speak your truth, to build a life that reflects your values, to surround yourself with people who choose reality over drama. The smear, the whispers, the weaponized confessions. They're tactics of a collapsing world. Keep your footing. Keep your voice. Keep your life bright. The narcissist's last resort is chaos. Your last resort is steadiness. Be steady. The world will notice. Isolation, the narcissist's quiet siege. The narcissist studies the fault lines of your life and presses slowly. When trust wobbles, when you wonder if people see you differently, you start to pull back. That retreat is the goal. Isolation makes influence easy. A soul that feels misunderstood tends to shrink, doubt, and second guess. That inner storm is exactly what the narcissist wants. Small, confused, ashamed, off balance. This isn't reconciliation. It's a campaign. Not healing, but dominance. And it doesn't always roar. Sometimes it arrives dressed as tenderness. A long text dripping with concern. A soft suggestion to get help for battles already won. It's compassion as costume. Control as motive. Your openness is not met with care. It's harvested for leverage. This is psychological warfare. Wearing a smile. Shame then does the rest. Private history laid bare can make the strongest heart go quiet. Silence feels safer than another wound. So the tongue holds back. And in that hush, the narcissist's script spreads unchecked. The betrayal slices deep, not only because of what's shared, but because it came from trust. What was sacred is treated like currency. In the narcissist economy, vulnerability isn't human. It's a transaction. Power fades, so every dark corner is searched for collateral. Your freedom exposes powerlessness, and that exposure must be buried. The strategy of isolation. When the grip loosens, the narcissist doesn't usually disappear. The narcissist narrows a circle. It rarely starts with thunder. It starts with fog, subtle moves. Quiet edits to the story of your life. To regain control, the narcissist separates you from the people who make you strong. Your friend doesn't really get you. Your family never understood what we have. Not accusations, suggestions, seeds of doubt planted in tired soil. Conflicts get enlarged, misunderstandings stretch thin until they look like proof. The aim is simple. Make the narcissist feel like the only safe harbor. Trust me, doubt them. Soon the pressure hardens. Loved ones are recast as jealous, toxic, manipulative. Fights are stirred. Then the narcissist arrives as comforter, the storm and the shelter. Guilt becomes a leash. Time with others is betrayal. Choosing community is disloyalty. The narcissist doesn't want a place in your world. The narcissist wants a whole map. That requires eliminating competition for your attention, your energy, your allegiance. Exhaustion follows. Conversations that once felt easy turn heavy. You withdraw, not because you want distance, but because defending yourself is a full-time job. The narcissist marks your retreat as victory. With fewer voices around you, reality can be rewritten. Gaslighting meets less resistance. Identity gets reshaped in silence. The narcissist becomes both wound and remedy, manufacturing distress and offering counterfeit peace. Healing, growth, and the journey to financial and emotional freedom. Even after physical distance, the isolation continues by proxy. The smear campaign meets the severed ties. Two blades, one handle. While you heal, the narcissist works the room. Calm tones, careful phrasing, concerned updates. There's been a change. So unstable lately. These are not clumsy jabs. They're surgical strikes aimed at your lifelines. If others can be convinced to see you through the narcissist lens, the narrative stays controlled without you in it. The disorientation is real. People once steady now stand on tiptoe. You hold truth alone and wonder who could be trusted. That loneliness can ache as much as any breakup because it corrodes self-trust. Memory gets blurry. Worth feels negotiable. The narcissist counts on that blur. A lonely heart is easier to shepherd back, not by love, but by the promise of clarity the narcissist claims to offer. This is a cruelty, weaponizing belonging. Humans are communal by design, being seen, believed, and held as oxygen. The narcissist knows this and cuts the line. The aim isn't just harm, it's to hinder recovery. If escape happens, let it be alone, unsupported, vulnerable. Then come the grand gestures, the scripted apologies. The vows of change. Time precisely for the hour when isolation stings the most. The hope is that in the famine of connection, the narcissist version of reality will taste like bread. How the narcissist works your circle, not out of concern, out of calculation. Expect quiet outreach to those who matter. Friends, family, colleagues. The story is curated. Enough truth to hook, enough distortion to steer. Motive is masked as care. I'm worried. Something's off. The goal is to salt the earth around you so new trust won't grow. This isn't just character assassination. It's supply chain management. If they can manage how others see you, they can manage outcomes without touching you. Counter moves for your freedom. Fortify your witness. Keep a calm record, dates, messages, events. Not to live in court, but to anchor memory when fog rolls in. Choose one or two steady souls and tell the truth plainly. Small circles can be mighty walls. Guard your openings. Vulnerability isn't scarcity, but it deserves gates. Offer depth where patterns of care exist, not where curiosity feeds control. Answer simply or not at all. The narcissist fire feeds on frantic explanations. Let your life become the long proof. Rebuild belonging on purpose. Mentors, support groups, communities that prize reality over drama. Belonging is not a luxury. It's medicine. Invest in restoration that strengthens both heart and future. Skills, savings, work with meaning. Financial steadiness is emotional armor. It shortens the runway for manipulation. Hold boundaries without rage. You don't need to mirror cruelty to be strong. Steadiness outlasts spectacle. You were never made to live as a narcissist's echo. You were made to stand upright, to speak with a clean tongue, to love without fear, to gather with people who choose truth over theater. The narcissist thrives in chaos. You thrive in clarity. Keep your light steady. Keep your circle wise. Keep your story rooted in what's real. When isolation is a strategy, connection is a counterstrike, and a grounded life is the victory. This tactic isn't about punishing you in the moment. It's about training your future. If the narcissist can persuade you that no one cares, no one understands, that every bridge is burned and every ally gone, the stage is set for re-entry. Resistance lowers. Instincts go quiet. Compliance comes easier. Hard-won wisdom on reclaiming control over your life. Make no mistake. The goal isn't reconciliation. It isn't understanding. It's control, dressed up as love, cloaked in concern, delivered through emotional starvation. When the narcissist finally senses a grip is gone, the narrative flips. Your strength becomes coldness. Your clarity is called cruelty. Independence is renamed selfishness. Emotional discipline, betrayal. This rewrite isn't only to soothe the fractured ego. It's a campaign designed to convince the crowd that your healing is the problem. The narcissist can't tolerate a world where center stage isn't reserved. So when you rise, the narcissist reframes your ascent as arrogance. Boundaries become walls. Refusing to re-enter chaos becomes abandonment. Accountability is avoided by attacking the very traits that set you free. The story rolls out to mutual acquaintances with practiced sorrow. Tried everything, was always there, then suddenly distance. The missing chapters, gaslighting, devaluation, control, are edited out. Your courage gets mislabeled as instability. Your no becomes unkind. Your quiet becomes dangerous. Because a narcissist often sound convincing, this revision spreads. It doesn't stop with family or friends, either. Sometimes the pitch is brought straight to your heart. You've changed. You used to care. This isn't you. Nostalgia is leveraged. Guilt is stirred. Confusion is cultivated. Until you're tempted to doubt the very transformation that finally made you whole. But the aim isn't your truth. The aim is your surrender. The narcissists want the earlier version of you. The agreeable, uncertain, ever-accommodating reflection that kept the illusion of dominance intact. If others can be persuaded that your growth equals dysfunction, reputation is salvaged and your validation supply is cut. People start to wonder if you really changed for the better. Some step back. Others suggest you're too rigid, too distant. Concern begins to echo the narcissist script, and that echo breeds doubt. Maybe the boundaries are harsh. Maybe refusing toxicity is unforgiving. Maybe. Here's the paradox. The more you heal, the more the narcissist markets you as the harm. The more that refrain is mirrored around you, the more inner conflict you feel. Guilt tries to follow you into freedom. You consider softening, explaining, stepping back into the conversation you already outgrew, hoping again to be understood. But the narcissist isn't seeking understanding. The narcissist is seeking submission, not a meeting of minds, but the erosion of conviction. This maneuver isn't only about convincing others. It's about turning your compass against you. If the narcissist can recast transformation as failure, the doorway to manipulation creaks open. Guilt becomes leverage. Confusion becomes a foothold. Power returns, not with change, but with a story that steals your name. That's the final twist. Your evolution put on trial, their failure relabeled as your betrayal. The strike lands at the center of identity, aimed not just at what you do, but at what your growth means. In the narcissist world, freedom must be vilified because freedom ends a reign of illusion. And if direct control is gone, the narcissist will reach for the next best weapon, the story that defines you. Rewrite the story, reopen the door, resurrect the pattern you bled to escape. Hold the line. Your strength isn't cruelty. Your clarity isn't coldness. Your boundaries aren't walls. They're doors that finally lock behind what once devoured your peace. Keep walking. Your story is still yours.